Welcome back to another episode
of Living Beyond Limits
where we wind down
and level up
together.
together. But today we're going to be sipping some tea while we tell you the tea. So today we're going to be talking about bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. So we don't have questions today. We just thought we might just go for it, get into it. So we're just going to be talking about the topic and how we relate to it, what we've experienced, how we've grown from it, and so on and so forth. So, Charlene, when we think of bullying, what's the first thing that comes to your head?
Honestly, I think about a lot of pain.
Yeah.
A lot of feeling ostracized, kind of lonely.
Okay.
What do you think about?
Definitely pain, anger, and loneliness. Because those are, because of the bullying I've experienced in the past, I've realized in the past couple of months, actually, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection. So I've realized like some of the things that have happened to me in the past is the reason why I respond the way that I do to certain things now.
I would definitely agree with that.
So yeah, that's like anger is definitely at the forefront. But I think more so angry at the fact that the bullying that has happened to me in the past has caused me to still do some of the things today, even though I've moved on from the bullying. So I think it's definitely messed up with some of my growth, and some of the things that I get affected by.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would say with me, so today in my 30s, I do get like anxious in any type of relationship, whether it be friendship or romantic, professional relationships, because I'm always questioning like, does this person really want to be around me? Do they really see me? Do they really genuinely choose me? I can see it still affecting me today.
Yeah, same here. I think I get really anxious with people, which is very surprising to me because like I feel like I'm so open and so talkative, and I like to meet. Well, I won't say I always like to meet new people, but like it's just never stopped me from being open to meeting people. But I can feel internally that I get anxious. And then also I think that sometimes there have been moments where um my people who are close to me have behaved in a way where some of the students that were back in school that bullied me acted in the same way. So when it comes up, it's kind of like a trauma response that's happening. Therapy words. And so then like internally acting the way that I would when I was a kid, but you would never see it in the forefront. But when I would go home, I'm like, damn, that like really bothered me, but I would never tell them. And it's come up a lot, and I'm kind of disappointed that it has come up a lot, which means that I have to like go back and like do that work again. So it's been really hard. It's been really hard. I think one of the things that I think about also is that I've slightly become uncomfortable with like men, and not just like, I notice it happens when it's like the people that I know, like the relationships they have with their men. And the reason why is because like, so like, like because of our disability, there's times where we like need help, right? So usually it's the men that picks us up, help us down the stairs, or helps us up the stairs. And that's many times that has happened, and I have like guy friends who's done that for me, but it's just so happened that the guy friends are dating someone. And there have been moments where like that person would help me down the stairs, and then we would just be walking like normal. I'll be like, okay, thank you. And this is something that like, it could be something that the person has always done, so it's not a big deal, nothing happened. But then I would like turn around in moments, and the girl is like talking to the guy, like, or they look upset, and they're like, why'd you hold her like that, or like, what were you doing? And then like you could hear the guy say, but I was just helping her. Like this is what
Mhm.
we always do. Why is it a big deal? And I think, and it's happened twice in my life. And so because of those moments, like I don't even sometimes I don't even like to be in within a certain distance of someone I know that's like with my friend
Mhm.
or with my family member, because I don't want them to think that I'm doing something that I'm not, even though I know that I'm not, and nothing has happened.
Mhm.
But because of that person and the way that they feel, like I
Mhm.
know it has nothing to do with me. I just don't want to start something.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I noticed that even though these things happened like years ago, it still internally has bothered me in moments where I
Mhm.
can't be alone with a person for too long because I don't want them to think anything has happened or anything like that. Um, but I've learned that over time it's just like women feeling insecure, unfortunately. Like if
Mhm.
I'm really being honest. But I can't control that. Like, I can't
Mhm.
control how they react. Like it's
Mhm.
pretty interesting. I know I just rambled, but
Yeah. No, but it's important to say because I think what you talk about is like a trust, and I think when you
yeah.
experience bullying at any point in your life for whatever extended
Mhm.
amount of time,
Mhm.
it does create trust issues
Mhm.
with people among you. Like you always questioning, like, you know, can, does this person really trust me in different situations, or
Yeah.
can I trust this person?
Mhm. Mhm. I don't know. And a lot of my bullying comes from, I think that also bothers me because a lot of my bullying comes from like people blaming me for stuff I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even say or do. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, how did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
Like we were just fine. Where'd you get this information from? And
Mm-hmm.
it was always just people starting gossip to either get me upset or make me feel bad for something,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like I
Mm-hmm.
could just be going on with my day, smiling, and then somebody just ruins that, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
But bullying, I think that's always the person's like agenda of bringing you down,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
taking that smile away from you.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely have an experience like that. I think I can remember me being, always happy and helpful,
Mhm.
especially like in elementary school. And I think I don't remember a lot of bullying per se in elementary school, but it did start happening in junior high school.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
think
That's where my bullying started
people
too.
around my age were maybe intimidated by my joy or my
That's what, yeah,
helpfulness. That's how I
definitely.
see it now. I probably didn't see it then
Yeah.
that way. And they just didn't like
Yeah.
the fact that I was happy and
Mhm.
that I kind of enjoyed my life
Mhm.
despite the struggle. And I think they felt similar to what you said, that they had to do whatever they could to take
Joy
that
away.
joy away. I mean, now being a therapist 30 odd years later, I can see from a different perspective that they did that because they didn't like themselves.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
when you're 11, 12,
Yeah.
you don't see that. You just see like, or you question yourself, like, what did I do wrong? Or
Mhm.
why can't I be accepted? Or why can't I be treated like the next
Mhm.
girl?
Yeah.
And it really did a damage to my self acceptance
Mhm.
and my self esteem.
Yeah. It does. It breaks you, and then you have to do all that work to build yourself up again.
Mm,
Um. I mean, like, and I usually tell people like, I notice like my insecurities are different from my peers' insecurities because my disability has been the forefront of like everything.
mm,
So like that was my number one insecurity. And so if the bully found a way to make that even worse, it made me feel worse. So like I wasn't the type of person to care about small details of myself, my hair,
mm,
my skin, nothing. But that they found a way to use to
mm,
make me feel worse. Because, like you said, I was very positive. I was a positive little girl. And then
mm,
once I went to middle school, it was over, and that's where that anger started festering. So now it's just trying to find, just getting that power back again, being
mm,
stable again, um, being forgiving. Forgiveness is a hard thing.
It is hard.
It's a hard thing. I even remember, like, I know my bully's first and last name. I don't know why that's stuck with me, but it's stuck. Like, I know their birthday, and I think it's because they were my friend first, or that's how they did it. You know, we became close friends, and then they used that to tear me down.
I mean, honestly, I think forgiveness is one of the hardest things for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I think logically I want to say I'm forgiving, right?
Mhm.
But when I do feel disrespected
Yeah.
or when I do feel kind of unseen,
Yeah.
this thing triggers in me where I get angry, and
Yeah.
it's hard for me
Yeah.
to forgive the person because I think I come from a place of like, but I would never treat you like that.
Yeah.
And the bullies that I remember, especially in junior high school, like they bullied me to the point of like me having some real depression.
Yeah.
I don't
Me
even think my
too.
parents know really the
Mhm.
extent of it, but I
Mhm.
never treated them the same.
Yeah.
So I think there's part of me that like when someone treats me wrong, I still feel like, but I would never
Do that
do
to
that to
you.
you. So it's
Yeah.
hard for me to forgive,
Yeah.
even even today.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, I would say my bullying got me into a real depressive mood, but like much like yourself, like I don't think my parents knew how depressed I
Mhm.
was, and and it was because I was always covering it up with more smiles.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and I think it's just because I didn't want them to know that I was being bothered because they were
Mhm.
going through so much anyways. It was like, let me not add more to the fire, or let me
Yeah.
not add more to the problems.
Yeah.
But I think one way I try to just forgive, or I have forgiven that person,
Mhm.
is I just found a way to kind of move forward with like the people I know that like love and care for me. And having that constant reminder of a good of a person I am,
Mhm.
and how none of those things that they said or did to me um was even like worth doing,
Mhm.
like it didn't even
Mhm.
matter.
Mhm.
um yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't even like I never even thought of them even saying like apologizing or anything, because I just wanted to like leave the school,
Mhm.
move on, graduate, go to a new school, and start over.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, I never really thought about that. Like, I've had to just do that forgiveness for myself and just move forward
Mhm.
and know that, that person did all those things because they just was upset with their life.
Yeah.
They felt a certain type of way,
Mhm.
and that was it.
Yeah, I think that's helped me to
Yeah.
forgive them,
Mm-hmm.
those who bullied me, especially in junior high school. And I think it even helps me forgive now,
Yeah.
is to see the person or the action of the person in the past, and now like it really has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I don't deserve the response, but
Yeah.
people respond the way they do
Yeah.
because their internal struggle.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm even teaching myself now. Like you have to let it go.
Yeah.
Because you can do everything right. You can make every quote unquote right decision,
Yeah.
or be the most perfect person in the world,
Mhm.
and someone can always find a flaw with you,
Yeah.
or always treat you negatively,
Yeah.
because it has really nothing to do with you.
You.
You
Mm-hmm.
know.
It's true. It's true. It doesn't. I don't even know if I told you, but I ended up seeing my bully at work.
Mm.
So that was very different, and like we haven't seen each other since middle school.
Mm-hmm.
But she did apologize.
Mm.
She did apologize, and I don't. Before then, I didn't think I needed her apology, but it was nice to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit rushed because we were at my job, but
Mm-hmm.
um she was just like, she don't even know why she did it. She said that I don't even like her comment. She just said like I seemed very sad or very troubled,
Mm-hmm.
or she felt like she needed to do something so that like um she could kind of get over some of the things that were going on with her.
Mm.
And so that's why she did it, and that she was very sorry. So it was refreshing to hear.
Mm.
But even though our conversation was quick, I wonder what it would have been like if she knew how much it affected me throughout my entire life. Like, not even forgetting her face or anything like that. But she apologized. I don't know how that made her feel. I know that she wanted to connect, but I wasn't really interested in that. So yeah.
I mean, I think that's the thing about bullies. Like, they seem to be very self-absorbed and like thinking about whatever is best for them in the moment. They don't think about, like, at least I felt that they never saw me as a person with layers. Right? They saw me as maybe an easy target that they could take their anger about their situation or their self out on me because maybe I seemed I was very timid, I was very quiet. So maybe I seemed like an easy target.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. She said it just seemed easy because you just you have a disability. You know, it seems like people with disabilities are perceived as, like, how do I say? I'm looking for the word, like, weak, and easy to target.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. I think bullies look for people who won't stand up and who won't fight back, right? Because they just need to. I mean, now as a therapist, I can see this. But at 12, I didn't see it, right? They just wanted to, like, release whatever anger they had onto something that won't fight back. And I think now as an adult, that's why I have done and still am doing in therapy weekly. To learn to
shout out to people who go to therapy.
Yes, therapists go to therapy too.
Yes, we do.
The work I do weekly is to learn to communicate in a healthy way, and the importance of boundaries with everyone in my life. Because when I was 11, 12, I didn't have the strength to, like, express myself and stand up for myself. And I think that's why I fight for myself so hard now, and I fight for those that are important to me because I can see the effects of not feeling like you can have a voice.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And, like, that's what I'm trying to do with people. I work in therapy as well, fight for people that don't have that voice, teach them how to do it. And like Shani said, the continued work that I also do myself, because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a lot of, like, mental strength that you have to kind of work through to get to.
And I mean, growing up, my parents were going through so much. Together individually, and I think they wanted to instill that, and I think they did the best they could. But I think it was more of just, like, helping me survive, literally. That my emotional strength and my mental strength maybe weren't taken into account as much as they could. The things that these bullies did to me, I wouldn't want anybody
No, it's true.
to experience.
I think I also knew that, like, I think now I know that, like, my parents don't know the extent of it, because I remember a couple years back, like, my dad said to me, he was like, "Oh, I know you don't have any, like, confidence issues or anything like that, because I raised you to be confident. Like, I gave you the skills to be." And I told him, I was like, "Dad, but you gave me the skills to be within our home. But once I went outside of that home, everything changed."
Yeah, and I think that's the same with me.
Everything changed. So, and I think he still feels that way. Like, he looks at me as someone who can take on a lot. But I think I also blame myself because I didn't let people, like, see that vulnerable side of myself. Like, even to this day, like, some of my cousins are like, "Oh, we didn't know, or we don't know, because you was always happy, you was always smiling, you was always hanging out with us, and you never said anything." And so, if I didn't give people access to that vulnerability, how would have they, you know, how would they know?
That's true. I mean, I can picture it right now. Like,
Yeah,
I know the room, I know the time of day
yeah,
where I would come home from school and my mom would be, I don't know, busy. So I
yeah,
would be in my room,
yeah,
door half closed,
yeah,
and I would cry
yeah.
and cry.
Mm.
I mean, for multiple things, but a lot of it came from bullying and not
Mhm,
feeling accepted.
mhm,
And my mom, I don't think she knew for a long time.
yeah,
For a long time. And I think, I mean, I think as a society, we do better now
yeah,
to encourage our children to talk about their feelings and talk
yeah.
about things that are going wrong or hard.
Mhm,
But when I was younger,
mhm,
that wasn't, I'm not saying that my parents didn't want to know. It
mhm.
just wasn't something that was common,
Yeah,
like we sit down and say, how was school today? What bothered you? What made you happy?
yeah,
And for whatever reason, I'm not saying it's my parents' fault,
yeah.
but for whatever reason, I didn't feel that I could go to my parents and say, hey, like this is happening,
Mhm.
until it got really bad,
Yeah,
until like
same
I
here.
started feeling really depressed. And I remember my mom one day waking me up and she was like, all right, let's get ready ready for school. And all I did was bawl. Like I started crying.
Yeah.
And she was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I said, I can't go back to that school.
Mm.
And if anyone has ever met my mom,
Mm.
she is pretty intense.
She is
So it
very
made her
much
very
so.
angry. I don't think
Um,
she ever wanted her kids to feel that. I know she never wanted her kids to be bullied,
yeah,
and she didn't know. I mean, I
yeah,
think partly it was me not being able to express it to her,
yeah,
but also me not feeling like it was wanted to be expressed.
yeah.
And I remember her getting me dressed.
Mhm.
Till the day I remember I remember what she wore walking me to school, because I went to school in walking distance. I mean,
Yeah.
walking distance for her, not for me.
Okay.
And she put me in I had a kind of an adult stroller, which already caused
More.
caused
Yeah.
issues. And she walked me to that school, and she sat with me that entire day
In your
in the
class.
class.
Wow.
And she stared if you ever see my mom stare when she's displeased with anything,
Mhm.
it's pretty intense. And she just sat in the class all day.
Mhm.
And everybody was there. It was a group of girls.
Mhm.
I think it was like 3 or 4.
Wow.
And she sat there. And then afterwards, I didn't go to talk with her,
Mhm.
but she told me years later that she had talked with them and had told them like how it made me feel,
Mhm.
and that she kind of expected them to be a support for me,
Yeah.
um and among other things. And then after that, I don't remember them doing it much, but when it started, it was bad. Like they would throw things at me. They would get the recess,
Yeah.
all their friends to gang up on me
Yeah.
to bully me during it was a whole group of people. Like,
That's crazy.
and then like, so when I grew up, I went to a church that was very had a lot of rules, and we had to like
Mhm.
wear certain things.
Mhm.
So usually we had service Tuesday night, and Wednesday we would go to school.
Mhm.
And my mom, bless her heart, she would make us wear exactly what we wore to church
Mhm.
on Wednesday. So the long dresses,
Mhm.
you know,
Everything.
everything modest.
Yeah.
But at 11, 12, that doesn't fly when you're
Mm.
trying to make
Mhm.
friends. And they would
Exactly.
make fun of my clothes. They would throw spitballs at me. They would harass me up and down the hallways. It was pretty
Wow.
intense. Yeah.
Wow. My bullies played a lot of mind games.
Mm.
Uh, they like there was this one time where like we were sitting table just like this, and we used to sit like our classroom was set up like we had individual desks, but it was in fours, so you sat in groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sitting with them. We were talking like normal. I go to the bathroom. I come back. Everybody's side eyeing me, rolling their eyes at me. I'm trying to get their attention. They're not paying me any no mind. So I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what's happening? Then I hear, oh, this person said you was talking about me. And I'm like, talking about you, like,
Wow.
I haven't, we were just talking. We were just talking just fine. Yeah, you know, she said you was talking about me. And so we pissed at you, so we're not going to be friends with you. And like, they would be like cursing at me under their breath, sending me mean text messages. And that time we had the old phones, so like they took their time to type out like paragraphs upon paragraphs about how much the classroom hates me. Everybody's just pretending to be nice to me because they're in front of a teacher, but like underneath it all, like they don't care about me. Um, and I knew it was the bully that was spreading that around, and like she was just making everybody hate me. And this was happening sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. The entire middle school time, she would just create more problems that I wasn't even doing, to the point where now I'm sitting alone at lunch, or I'm like nobody wants to do a project with me, or like nobody wants to sit next to me, and I'm like, what did I do? So it was more of them playing with my loneliness and not feeling like I had a sense of belonging. And I think Nana also came to the school too.
I love her.
So it was back then I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't get a cell phone until I think 7th or 8th grade, but when I didn't have a cell phone, we had the house phone. So the house phone, if somebody else is trying to use the phone, you gotta get off. So Nana would like get on the phone and be like, hey, Sharice, it's time for you to get off. I don't know if she stayed on the phone, but she was hearing everything the girl was saying to me, and she was just being really mean. I don't remember what exactly she was saying, but she was very rude, and it made me really sad. And back then, I really knew how to like manage like not crying. So I was holding all that stuff in, which is probably why like now as an adult, like I'm trying to learn how to manage my anger better, because I was keeping everything inside. And so as it was getting worse, it was hard for me to hold that smiling face. And I think Nana, that's my stepmom, knew it like over time, and she'd be like, what's wrong? Like, and I wouldn't say anything, and then she was like, no, something's wrong, but like, she's not telling me, until that one day she heard the girl on the phone, and then she was like, who's that? Why she said that? And then I told her who the person was, and she was like, I'm going to the school. So just like you, we got ready for school. I was wearing uniform back then, so we put on the uniform. She told my dad she's going to the school. She let me go to class. She didn't tell me what time she was coming, but she was like, I'm coming. So she came. She went to the principal's office, straight to the principal. She was like, I need to see this girl's parent right now, and I need you to call the girl here, and you're gonna bring Sharice here. So they took me out of the class. I'm trying to figure out why I'm going to the principal, because back then they would announce on the loudspeaker,
yes,
come to the principal's office, and I'm like, why I gotta go to the principal's office? What did I do? So everybody's like, ooh, you in trouble. So I'm going to the principal's office. I see Nana. I see the girl. But she was raised by her grandparents. She wasn't raised by her parents. So her grandmother was there, and Nana started yelling. She's like, she's been picking on my daughter. My daughter's coming home upset. She's crying. She's sad. She's depressed. She don't want to do nothing. I'm sick and tired of your kid trying to bully my daughter. I need her to stop right now. And like that last time that she did that, that girl, she couldn't even look at me. She couldn't make eye contact with me. We had to finish the rest of the year with her avoiding me. Yeah, she didn't look my way, nothing. But it was just so hard, because I think that low-key kind of made it worse, because it's like, no, now you have the mother, you're the person that the mom came to school and started yelling. Now you're like kind of like, okay, that's like your snitch, And so that became a thing too. But she stopped talking to me. But her not talking to me gave me some type of release, because for once I didn't have to deal with, like you said, going to school every day, and there was something new happening, because I felt like I was never getting a break. Every day it was something. So I was like, okay, she's not talking to me no more. I'm good. We graduate and everything. But in high school, I wasn't bullied, but there was continued mind tricks like that, where it was kind of like people were trying to start things that I never even did, and I would lose like the closest people to me, and for so long they wouldn't talk to me. Then I'm like, what's going on? Like, I know I didn't do anything, which leads to why, like, when there's certain things happening now, I'm like, I know I didn't, like, I have to go through the plan in my head, like, I know I didn't behave this way, or what exactly was I doing. Sometimes I'll even have to ask somebody, like, am I really this way? Like, what did you notice? Because I still have people to this day that will tell me that I've done something that I don't even notice. So then I'm like, okay, what am I doing that's wrong? Maybe I'm not self-reflecting enough. Maybe I'm not changing enough. And then other people that's been in the room, they'll be like, but we didn't notice that. So I'm like, so why is this specific person saying this, you know? And it would bother me. And so that's something that I'm really trying hard to like let go and to like really trust in me, trust in my behavior and trust myself that I didn't hurt anybody and that I'm coming with good intentions, you know. But it really makes me think sometimes because that was the type of tricks they would play. Even though I knew I didn't do anything, it's the fact that you're creating it in your mind and then I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I know it's not me. It's mostly them, and it's just people trying to kill spirits, kill good spirits, you know. So I just try to live my life and be happy with what I have, be content with what I have. It's hard, you know. But I always say I made it this far to like, you know, not continue what I've been able to do or be who I am, you know. I think, you know, there's so many people that at least say they appreciate me, and I hope, like, you know, like they love me, they care for me. So that just keeps me reminded that I'm trying to, you know, do the best that I can.
I mean, I think you speak the truth about it, especially as adults. And adults who have been through years of bullying, I think now as adults, it's so important. And I've learned this recently. Like, this is not like, oh, you've known this. No, recently. Like, it's so important to have genuine friends in your life.
So important.
Because it helps you grow so much. And I think now in my 30s, I'm so much more aware of like who I allow to be in my life and who I allow to speak into my life. I understand the gravity of relationships more than ever. And I used to feel so bad about like having to distance myself from this person or and this friendship. And now I'm like, I have to because I am responsible to manage my own emotions. And my own acceptance of self. That's my responsibility. And if a person is not contributing to that in a positive way, whether you be family or friends, then I have to distance myself from you.
It's true. That's actually in my 20s, I'm still struggling with. So I've been doing very well with identifying so far who are the genuine people, but I want to give people second chances. Like, I want to be hopeful. I want to try again. But what I'm starting to notice is if I'm done, I'm done. Like, I'm never talking to you again. And it's because you have to really do something really, really horrible to me. That's just gonna make me feel like I can't trust you. But for some who, you know, may do some things here and there, but I still feel like, okay, like you have hope because it's like you've still done me good. It's just we've had our moments. So how can we improve on that? Do we need to have more conversations? Do I need to sit you down and like let's talk about it? But sometimes first I have to be petty first. Don't do that.
We're all a little petty occasionally,
you know. And then I'm like, okay, like stop, and then let's talk. So it's been a back and forth for me. I can say that I do have some genuine friends that I love and care for, and that have really been there for me, like without a doubt. Like even sometimes my friends even surprise me, like you're actually gonna do this for me, because like there have been, you know, people in my past or things that I've experienced where I've never been able to experience like a genuine friendship like this before. And the friendships I have now, it's like, wow, like this is what it feels like for someone to actually really care for you. And it makes me so happy. So those people remind me of the people I need to keep around and what I need to stay away from. But we getting there. We trying.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
We trying. We trying. So yeah, you know.
I mean, I think there is something about grace and forgiveness. And second chances. I think everyone deserves that. You know, at least most people deserve that. I think what helps me is okay, you make a mistake. I'm not perfect. I
Mhm.
try to be a really good friend, but that doesn't mean I do it 100% all the time. So I am open to like giving people a second chance. What I've taught myself is, okay, I give you a second chance. We talk through this. I
Mhm.
express my feelings. I express my needs, my expectations. But then if I see a pattern, patterns tell truth.
That's true. That's true.
So if your pattern continues to show me
Yeah.
that I can't trust you and you're going to treat me in a way that I don't deserve,
Mhm.
then the relationship has to end.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I think the patterns is what we have to pay close to, you
Mm,
know? Because, like, people have a way of, like, disrupting the pattern for, like, 2 seconds, and you're like,
mm-hmm,
"Oh, wait, no, they're actually a good person," for, like, 2 seconds, and then it may go back again, and you're like, "Wait, but I thought we were doing good. I
mm,
thought we were okay. What happened?" That disruption, that 2 seconds of the disruption of pattern is what makes me wanna go back
mm,
and be like, "Okay, like, maybe I can try again."
mm,
Um, but I have, like, this 3-strike rule. It's a
mm.
mental thing, I don't really tell people about it, but, like, I pay attention, but if you take away all those 3 strikes, we're done,
It makes
you
sense.
know? And for some people in my life, they're kinda odd too, right? But
Mm,
it's because I've been very careful to really look at how they've been treating me through big life changes, like when I needed them the
mm,
most and they weren't there.
mm,
So yeah, that's what I've like tried to use at least therapeutically or just in my journaling, like things to look out for or things to confront someone about.
mhm, mhm,
And sometimes confrontation is hard for me because
mhm, mhm,
it's very uncomfortable, which is
mhm.
why I give people a lot of second chances. It's hard.
It's a muscle that needs to be
I
developed.
know.
The more you do it, I mean, and confrontation doesn't have to be negative.
Yes.
It doesn't have
And
to
I
be
think that's where the
disrespectful.
uncomfortableness come from because a lot of us know it as negative
Mhm, mhm.
when it can be a
Yeah, I
positive
mean, I
thing.
think society makes it negative, but
Yeah.
you can confront someone in respect and love,
Yeah.
and you can
Exactly.
set boundaries in confrontation in with respect and love. It just
Yeah.
takes practice.
Yeah. Exactly. So we're gonna practice and we're gonna
Hmm.
see. But yeah, I mean that's our bullying
Hmm.
stories.
What's to end? What's one piece of advice that you would give someone
Who's
maybe
going through bullying?
younger or older, like I just going through bullying?
That is not your fault.
Mm,
And don't blame yourself for anything.
mm-hmm,
You didn't do anything wrong.
mm-hmm,
They gonna make you feel like you did, but you didn't.
mm-hmm,
So that's my biggest advice because that's one thing that was very hard for me to get through. I
mm-hmm,
blamed myself for everything,
mm-hmm,
and it has nothing to do with you. What about
mm-hmm.
you?
I would definitely second that, and
Yeah.
to piggyback off of that, I would say you're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take the perspective, or you begin to believe the perspective that you did nothing wrong and it's not your fault, it would help you to have the courage to tell somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You need to tell somebody. I'm not saying
Tell
I
somebody
know
is a
that.
big one.
Yeah, I'm not saying I think when you're growing up, it's hard, to have that honesty with your parents is not easy. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying I would love my kids in the future to come
Yeah.
tell me, but that might not be.
The case.
It's
Yeah.
just something that happens as
Yeah.
kids grow up. And I hope they can tell Allison, or I
Mm-hmm.
hope they can tell Cherise,
Yeah.
tell somebody, because
Yeah.
you're not meant to handle that by yourself,
Yeah.
and you can't. And if you think you can, what happens is depression sets in,
Yeah.
anxiety sets in,
Yeah.
and then you really struggle to begin to accept yourself. So find somebody,
That's true.
whether it be a parent, a aunt, a godmother, a friend, and tell somebody.
Yeah. Very true. Tell somebody is very important because I never said anything and my depression got really bad.
Hmm.
But it just looked different because I was hiding it, so I had to be functional, but it
Mm.
was really bad. And I found that in moments when I was alone, like nobody around, I had thoughts
Me
and
too.
it it will make you feel like that's it. That's it. That's the end of the story, but it's not.
Hmm.
It's not. You have to fight. And part of fighting is telling somebody
Yeah. And there's so much life ahead of you.
so much.
Like
So
you can get
much.
so engulfed with
So
bullying and
much.
think that, like you said, it's the end of
And
but
I did not see my life getting this far.
mhm.
Trust me, I did not. But here I
If you
am.
can fight through it and you can get
Yeah.
somebody who you trust to help you fight through it,
Yeah.
there's so much life ahead of you.
There's so much. So
Mhm.
you get help, you
Mhm.
know, get a therapist,
Tell somebody.
tell somebody, talk to, even if you don't want to, because I know a lot of people don't want to talk to their parents. So if you have a close friend
Mhm.
or another family member you want to talk to,
Mhm.
you tell them.
Somebody always wants to hear your
Mhm.
voice matters, your feelings matter, what you're
Mhm.
going through is matter. And I think what anxiety does and depression does is says, "Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's they're not really bothering me."
Yeah.
No,
It's gonna be
the
okay.
smallest thing
Mhm.
is important to be told to somebody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell somebody.
Yeah.
Um, so that's it for this
That's
episode.
it. Um, we hoped you learn something from this,
Mm,
like some of the stories that we shared, but
mm,
it's just to put a learning lesson out there to
mm.
keep on going and that you're not alone.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean,
we ask that you comment below. Tell us
yes.
what you think. Share your experiences
Yeah.
because people do read them, and we want to create a community of support.
Yeah, for sure.
Let us know your thoughts. Let us know any part twos that you want to hear about this or
Mhm.
ideas.
Yes.
And like always, like share.
Yes, please.
And
And keep watching, keep reaching out to us, and then there will be more videos coming your way. More
yep,
guests.
more guests are coming up. We promise.
Yes.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe. So until you see us again, goodbye.
Bye.